No matter who you are, there will always be moments in games where things just don't go your way. Times where, although you think you've made the right play, you still manage to get punished. And in an effort to grow Valorant's still blossoming esports scene, Riot has chosen to keep players on their toes by pushing updates that tend to shake up the meta, oftentimes to ill effect.
What is this gun? What the f is this? Wait, this has to be hotfixed.
Now, some players manage to breeze through the nonsense by shifting the blame to those around them, often with good reason.
Riot, I ask you calmly, professionally, please do something about your f***ing ranked matchmaking system. These guys are actual bots. They don't come, they bait, they don't know what the f*** they're doing. Please do something about it.
While others let their annoyances eat away at them until they just can't take it anymore.
This game is just f***ing constant mental torture, just beating you down with a stick over and over and over and over and over again. You just lie there and you just f***ing take it. I would love to play more ranked Valorant. I would love to lose some more elo. Holy f***, this game's so fun. Yes, Riot, please take my money.
But not all players share this same sentiment. Some remain cool, calm, and collected because they know that maulding will only make things worse. And in Valorant's brief history, one man has managed to find a way to tame the entire community of rage-filled freaks with two simple words.
All good.
Meet Pujan FNS Meta, Envy's big-brained, battle-hardened in-game leader, an esports competitor for over a decade who has managed to crack the code when it comes to avoiding tilt. You see, after experiencing just about everything there is to experience in the gaming world, FNS now more than ever understands exactly what it takes to outsmart his opponents and maintain sanity when things don't go his way. But how did he develop this elementary adage, and why is it that the entire TAC FPS community decided to start living by it?
All good.
Oh. All good.
Hold down, hold down.
Last player standing.
I make it. I didn't make the cut. It's all good.
I deserve that one, huh?
All good!
Okay, so before we dive into things, I must humbly request that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. If you don't, all good. Now, at nearly 30 years old, FNS is what the esports world would call a boomer. Hell, he's likely been competing for longer than some of you little tykes have been alive. But where exactly did his competitive gaming journey begin? Born in Tanzania, FNS moved to Toronto at a young age, alongside his parents and two siblings. And like many others featured on this channel, he was first introduced to gaming by his older brother, who showed him games like FIFA and NBA Live. Eventually, FNS made the jump from console to PC. And it was then that some of his friends introduced him to Counter-Strike. The thing is, his initial foray into TAC FPSs actually presented some challenges.
At that point, I was so not used to the PC. Like, I didn't play any games on the PC, specifically with my mouse and my keyboard being used at the same time. So I just couldn't use my mouse and my keyboard together. Like, that's how bad I was at PC at first. So that was definitely a learning curve, but I fell in love with Counter-Strike. Fell in love with the idea of FPS, and not necessarily the tactical side of it yet, but just more play against real people instead of NPCs. That just blew me away entirely, and I got addicted to it.
With the release of CSGO in August of 2012, FNS began taking competition more seriously and joined various up-and-coming amateur rosters before earning his first professional contract with Counter Logic Gaming at the start of 2015. CLG was one of the first top North American rosters, and living in a gaming house with his friends and traveling to events helped FNS grow, especially as a leader.
It's going to be Elise who finds one, switches from burst to single fire, and he's going to be able to spin around and find a second one. But FNS in the back of the site, he's got to go for a reload. He's going to be able to take down one, takes down another one. He's got one more to beat, and that's a Trinity. Gets it done on the back of a triple. FNS going huge.
While CLG did find some success at the domestic level, the results weren't exactly coming on the international stage. So in early 2016, FNS left CLG to join Team Solo Mid. Now, on TSM, he was once again made in-game leader, but this time around, he was playing alongside some exciting young prospects in the NA scene, and it was his job to foster their talents. Under FNS's command, TSM established themselves as one of the best teams in the region, and later that summer, found themselves competing against some of the world's best.
It's up to Device to try and get this first frag, but he goes down to 3 HP here. The CT's realized it as well. There is a refrag, but there it is. TSM in the opening game of Group B actually take down the Titans in form of Astralis. What a result that is for them. Of course.
Same position he was in last time. They are looking the Deagle. Oh, look at the HP. Oh, he's done it. Zephyrs hits the headshot. Look how calm, collected, and cool he looks. It's TSM moving on.
Despite their moderate success, TSM decided to replace FNS with Sean Garaz in late 2016, leaving him without a team. But with CLG entering a rebuilding phase, they welcomed their old leader back with open arms. Unfortunately, FNS's return didn't exactly go as planned. The team's failure to qualify for 2 consecutive majors and ESL Pro League caused CLG to pull the plug on their entire male CSGO operation. He briefly joined Complexity in January of 2018, but when Cloud9 lost Stewie to SK, FNS was given his greatest opportunity yet. With the remains of a major winning roster, this was his chance to really put his name on the map as one of NA's premier IGLs. But his time on C9 didn't exactly go as he hoped.
Oh my god, FNS is going to be going down, and now Skadoodle 1 versus 3. Gambit 1 kill away from making the semifinals, and it's going to be Doja.
Spread, it's open, and there's flames everywhere. He's just going to run through it, and I don't even blame him. That's it. Cloud9 will be eliminated here.
All on FNS 1 versus 4. He's not even going to give a chance. Somebody, 4 kills. There's the celebration. Tyloo have done it.
Over the next couple of years, FNS found himself hopping around various Tier 2 NA rosters, but it wasn't until he formed Orgless, a team with some of his friends, that he started to find some success again.
Snipers on the pillar waiting for you, though. It's kind of embarrassing. The last 2 players now moving into the B bomb site. It's pretty close. Wardell has no idea. Able to jiggle and flick. Very, very nice. And Bentley gets taken out as well.
Some shooting practice to get right in the middle, but Wardell will take him down, ending top of the scoreboard at 19 kills. So yeah, they got really just monstrously spanked in that map. Yay, with another good kill, 10 seconds for a 1 versus 3, and it'll be 19 to 17 as Orgless eventually get that win on Overpass. It took a lot.
That's a really, really good win from Orgless on that.
But right as things were looking up for FNS, they suddenly went to shit. The COVID-19 pandemic hit, North American orgs started funneling out of Counter-Strike, and a few of his teammates decided to jump ship to Valorant. Riot's new tac shooter was starting to pick up steam, and its future as an esport looked promising. But FNS was conflicted about making the move.
Counter-Strike was my baby since I was like 22 years of age, even younger than that actually. So CS was basically my entire life. So being able to switch out of it was difficult for me. But as soon as I switched to Valorant, there were no regrets. I didn't like look back and say like, why did I do it? Only good things have come from that.
With his CS teammates already headlining other rosters, FNS was forced to once again create his own team. And thanks to his reputation as a leader and his years of competitive experience, he didn't exactly have to look too far to find players who were willing to learn the game alongside him. FNS's ragtag crew entered the Valorant scene a bit later than most rosters, but it didn't take long for them to get their name out there, because it was a little questionable.
Trying to win versus Together We Are Terrific. We've shortened that, Together Terrific.
Yeah, so it'll actually fit our graphic.
Yes.
So as other rosters were picked up around them, Together We Are Terrific waited for their chance to represent a Tier 1 org. But it was around this time that some members of the Valorant competitive community found themselves under investigation for some fairly suspicious doings. Implicated among the CSGO match-fixing allegations was FNS's teammate Calypso, who was put on blast by some of the scene's biggest players. But FNS quickly came to his teammate's defense. It was merely 2 words. All good. And thus a meme was born. Almost immediately, the community latched onto it, and the 2 words became, for FNS, a catchphrase of sorts. It was almost as if the 2 words had completely absolved his teammate of any potential wrongdoing. All good even became a coping mechanism for players who found themselves in some, let's say, unfortunate situations.
This shit's too sweaty for a con.
All good.
It's alright. I'm gonna go tower.
All good.
I'm gonna play B this round.
I mean, there's a cam on me, and I'm smoked. This guy's sitting in it too.
I have no idea why it caught on, but from where it came from, it literally is just something I say as a joke, sarcastically, when something absurd is said, like in TeamSpeak or something like that, or in real life. When someone does something that I feel like was a little ridiculous and I don't want to insult them, I'll just be like, all good. You know what I mean?
There are so many stupid rounds that happen in Valorant. Some of the most unlosable rounds, you can just lose them in Valorant. So like having that all good mentality is super good. It's like strong. It's a good mentality to have.
I mean, that's always what I live by. Like, you never like to regret things. You just want to move forward. So all good.
While his catchphrase took the community by storm, FNS and his teammates were picked up by envy off the back of their impressive performances in the Valorant Ignition series. The team operated like a well-oiled machine, and a lot of that was thanks to FNS's ability to see the game in a way that not many others could.
Immediately, I got a good feel of how to call in the game, and that's when I kind of fell in love with Valorant. Was I enjoyed being able to outcall with this many variables. That was a huge rush for me personally, and it was like a huge boost in motivation because I was playing against players that started and switched before me. We were doing well in these tournaments, you know. We'd get like 4th, 3rd, eventually 2nd, and then eventually 1st.
Envy try to go for this push towards B. They've actually managed to make it up towards spawn, but FNS, who's kind of hanging back, manages to get a couple of kills, and you can see them changing their plan off that. They want to go back towards A, but they're going to take their time to get there as they have to run all the way back up Catwalk. That does allow Relics to get into a better and more advantageous position. But look at where FNS is. Relics has no idea. FNS with his big brain.
30 seconds left.
Just getting the best of Cloud9.
The team's performances throughout the Valorant Ignition series made them a hot commodity, and it wasn't long before Envy swooped them up. With an org backing them, FNS and his team continued to impress. They bolstered their roster with the addition of Victor, Crashies, and Mame before qualifying for First Strike as the #1 seed.
Asuna pops his ult as well, figures, what can I do? This is a bit of an odd ult coming out from Crashies, but it doesn't matter in the end. Caboose will get that 3rd and final kill.
At this point, Envy was overflowing with talent, but their opponents were pretty quick to throw the praise to FNS. It was pretty clear that his years of experience in Counter-Strike had really set him up for success in Valorant.
I think Envy's got, in my opinion, the best in-game leader in North American history, which is FNS. So when you combine young talent, new talent in Mame, with, you know, one of the best IGLs NA's ever had, then you're gonna have a really good team.
He's the IGL that I hate playing against the most because I feel like he always has the read on like what we're trying to do, and he's always good at making those mini micro adjustments mid-game. I feel like every single time I watch Envy, their calls are always like so good. They usually have the advantage in the rounds. I think Envy has like strategically and like all their setups and stuff. I love watching Envy.
But once First Strike got underway, things didn't exactly go as planned. They managed to beat Immortals in the opening round, but fell short to TSM in the semifinals. And this marked the beginning of a bit of a shaky run from Envy. As the Valorant Champions Tour got underway in early 2021, they found themselves fighting amongst the top teams, but often falling at the final hurdle.
Push here, now the frags come in for the defense, still 2 players remain down to FNS with 11 HP as Asuna wraps around. still, now the 1v1 eco. Right through the smoke, shots come through, the spike is sticky, he's gotta run over, he's gotta defuse it, he's gotta find the time.
Holding it down on B site. Could it be the thrifty victory that pushes him over the edge as Mummy tries to trade Sing back with just the classic? Aaron finds another. He's got the classic in hand. He can't find 4, but the Bucky is there. Now Finesse has to go huge. They had the rifles, but it doesn't matter. Xset win the rematch.
FNS knew that a change needed to be made. They added Marv to their roster, which meant that they had the controller role covered, but most of the top teams in the region had starred Jet players who were willing to frag out with an operator. So if Envy were going to compete with the best and qualify for Masters Berlin, they'd need somebody who was comfortable playing that role. Thankfully, FNS knew just the guy. After failing to qualify with Andbox, FNS brought to the squad his friend and former teammate, Ye, or as many of you know him, El Diablo. Ye made an immediate impact, helping Envy qualify for Berlin as the 3rd seed out of NA. And once FNS and his team arrived in Berlin, they popped off.
Yeah, he's in a clutch spot here. He does have 1 bullet left with the optic. Has that blade storm online. If he's able to get that, all right, he's good for 1. It's going to be on to steal. He has to creep his way forward. A Red Bull clutch from Ye. Looking to go toe-to-toe. Steals in good spot. Steals in good spot, but no, it's Ye again. What? Oh, the Raz is going to need a 5. So much more difficult. Yeah, oh, but he's going to upgrade a weapon. Crashies has a chance for the ace!
From a couple of angles here, but Crashies way ahead of it, eats the flash though, so does Victor. Now there's problems. 1 left, 1 right. What can Victor do in this? They're bounding around. No way! Victor! Are you kidding me?
Envy made their way to the grand final without dropping a single map. And although they ended up coming short in the end, the whole team showed up. Their 2nd place finish helped secure them a spot at Valorant's biggest event to date. Champions.
We're a team that's very versatile in my opinion. I didn't know if that would translate onto LAN because we have a lot of inexperience on the roster as well. We haven't had that many players that have attended a lot of LANs. To be able to see like Jimmy at his first LAN and Crashies, Austin was playing insanely. Like all my players were playing really well and they don't even have that much experience. But they felt so calm to play with. You know, nobody was panicking or anything like that. And like I said, the confidence we had in Berlin, it's going to help me personally as an in-game leader so much knowing that my players are capable of that.
Despite their confidence heading into Champions, things quickly went south. First, Victor tested positive for COVID and was forced to isolate from the rest of the team. Then, a loss to Ascend in the 2nd round set them up for a rematch against Thailand's X10 Crit. And with their tournament lives on the line, they fell short.
This gets scary very quickly because look where Crashies is, lurking in the shadows of C Long. They're moving to the A site. Cruz will try to hold on, and he gets away with 3. The lockdown will do absolutely nothing in the playoffs. The stun to the backside. Oh, they're going to eliminate Sushi Boy to start with, but Patty is still going strong on the backside. Oh, and through the Cloudburst, and comes the Blade Storm, and it's not even needed. Scary closes it out, and SEA are going all the way to playoffs.
Now, although Envy didn't exactly end their season how they were hoping, FNS and his squad had one hell of a year. He proved, just like he always has, that he's capable of building a roster and leading them to success. He's done it for nearly a decade now. He's built teams only to watch them crumble on the biggest stages. But somehow, FNS never gives up. He may still be searching for that one big win in Valorant, but his desire to compete has never been stronger. And although his mantra only took the Valorant world by storm this past year, it's a subtle reminder of just how much adversity he's overcome. Where some players might just call it quits, FNS takes his losses in stride. He continues to fight, and heading into the 2022 VCT season, Envy, now Optic, still have their heads held high, in part because of their extraordinary leader. Because with FNS at the helm, everything is truly all good.
Yeah, it's definitely all good right now, for sure.
I want to make sure that we doesn't seem like we're shitting on these players. Because the theme here obviously is like when shit happens to you in a game. We started this video by saying, sometimes shit happens. Like, you made the right decision, you're a great player, and you just get timinged. I don't think I'm going to do this, but I did have a thought when I was reading the script. North Americans started to pull out of Counter-Strike like a high schooler in the back and then just cut myself off and cut to cam and be like, no, I'm not making that joke. Miles would like it, but I don't know if it's, I think it's kind of in poor taste.